Hi, Aries. I am here to do your December. So the justice is here. It already looks like this may be surrounding some kind of decision that you made. In the foundation, the Empress, it may be, just based on this card alone, because, I like to have clarifiers there. It may be something about family, perhaps your own mother, perhaps you're a parent or you're becoming a parent. In the past, we have the Queen of Earth. So that can represent an energy that you're portraying. And the Queen of Earth is very stable, also very responsible financially. Or this could actually be someone who has something to do with this spread. So it can be an Earth sign. It can be a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And then we have balance here. And the balance is justice is about balance as well. So the balance card here says that it definitely says that you may have been feeling out of sorts for whatever reason, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's do clarifications. These are just, this is my hypothesis right now based on what it is I'm seeing. Okay. And then we have the Page of Air, which is usually, conversation. Like it's hardcore truth coming your way by way of communication. Okay. So sorry, I had to find my trusty cards. These are the tarot Illuminati cards that I use to clarify my angel cards. But let's just start by clarifying the Justice card, okay? All right. So we have the Four of Cups, the Five of Pentacles, and the King of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is typically in a leadership role. This can be you. Because this is a fire sign, this is Aries, so it can be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. It can be you or it can be someone else. Now, if for some reason this is about a relationship, there was a decision made to, forego the love in this relationship. You've decided to leave it for whatever reason. But I feel like if in fact this is a career-oriented situation, and I'm saying that because of the Five of Pentacles, and, I feel like the justice can be very business sometimes. I feel like some of you have lost your job. You either decided to give it up on your own, right? You no longer wanted the opportunity, or you lost your job for whatever reason, and you're kind of feeling the strain in that regard. Okay? But if in fact this is a love-based situation, you're bored with who it is your partner is, and I don't know. It's not necessarily isolation, but this is a couple that's not at their best. Yes, they're together, but there's not a whole lot of tender love and care in this regard right now. So at the center of this reading, this just could be a matter of trying to make a fair and just decision. Okay. Now we're going to clarify the Empress. Clarify the Empress card for Aries. Card here for Aries. We have the Five of Cups. Let's clarify Empress card. We have the Queen of Swords. Oh, we had two. All right. So we have the Six of Cups and we have the Eight of Swords. Okay. Because of the way this is here, so the Empress card is a card that can represent a parent. Now, I'm saying that right now because I see the Six of Cups here. Now, sometimes the Six of Cups can represent a former union, a time of nostalgia, but it also represents children. And so to me, with the Empress here and the Six of Cups, this can denote maybe a past pregnancy and quite possibly some disappointment around it. So it's quite possible that the pregnancy could have terminated. Well, you could have had a miscarriage, which is absolutely unfortunate, or you could be in a relationship with someone who has children with someone else, and the way in which the situation is being handled is not something that you feel is just and fair, because it's quite possible that you may be in a relationship with someone who happens to be an air sign. So that can be Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. You could be in a relationship with that person and kind of, you don't really feel like you're being defended the right way if for some reason they are the parent or they're co-parenting with another person. This also could be a situation where if you're at work, your supervisor is just being a little trashy. Perhaps you have a new supervisor and they're kind of curt with the things that they say, because this Queen of Swords in this deck for me is the off with your head card. And that definitely goes into what I was just saying about the leadership here, even though this card can still represent you. But it does, no matter what the situation is, you kind of feel trapped in some circumstances. So perhaps there was a pregnancy, you got pregnant and now feel like, it's disappointing because now you kind of feel like you have to stay with this person. Or you got someone pregnant and you really didn't want to be with them, and now you feel like you have to be with them because, they're pregnant. So now you're feeling trapped in a situation somehow, some way, or you're feeling trapped with having to deal with someone or the person that you're co-parenting with. Like you feel like it's a situation where you're just trapped in something and it's absolutely disappointing to you. Okay. Let's see. Or this is a situation or circumstance about, a past flame that you've had. And I don't have that as a central issue here. This being someone from the past, it doesn't feel like a central issue, but I do want to clarify that if in fact that is the case, that's still represented by the Six of Cups here. It just doesn't feel very nostalgic. Or it could be a circumstance where you guys were together at some point, had kids, and now the way that you're co-parenting it sucks. It's not working. You really feel you feel stuck in a situation. You feel kind of damned for whatever reason. So now let's clarify this Queen of Earth. Let's clarify Queen of Earth. Damn it. All right, there we go. So we have the Four of Pentacles. Please clarify the Queen of Earth. We have the Hanged Man. We have the Emperor. Okay, so we have the Queen of Earth, which is a card of stability, which is ironic because it's being covered by the Four of Pentacles, which is a kind of a card of the miser, someone who really tries to hold on to what it is that they have. So it seems to me like this may have been a situation where you were trying to hold on for as long as you can, and there might have been a perspective change. So now you're kind of looking at things differently. This is what you've always held this in your hand, but for some reason you're noticing different things about what it is you're holding at this point. This also could have been a situation where there was some control at hand. I definitely feel like that's an issue because remember, we just spoke about where the Empress is. We just spoke about the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords means that you're feeling trapped. And usually when you're trapped, it feels like a situation is being controlled by someone else. It could have been someone who was just more dominating than you. They could have been an older male who kind of felt like they were schooling you. And at some point, you kind of just decided that you were going to suspend yourself and see the situation from another perspective. Okay? Or you could have taken control of the situation on your own, quite honestly. Let's check out this Balance card. So it seems like some of you may have been in a situation where, see, there's a duality to this. There's already a duality to this reading because I feel something work based and I also feel something relationship based as well. So I'm going to give it to you from two different perspectives. I feel like if in fact you guys were employed, you were living well, things were going well. I feel like that energy may not be there anymore. Quite honestly, some of you really have lost your jobs and you're not entirely sure of what it is you're going to do. You really need balance. And this is quite possibly the result of a job loss because the Nine of Pentacles lives lavishly. But, I noticed that both cards are on the opposite. They're facing in different directions than the Nine of Pentacles, which is directly in the middle, which says that these things are moving away. Now, if we're talking about a relationship or situationship, whatever it is that's going on, the Prince of Wands can represent you, or the Prince of Wands can represent someone else that is a fire sign, so Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. But the Prince of Wands is flighty. He's very flighty. So to someone who's independent, it can cause a little bit of emotional unavailability. Unavailability. So I know that cup cards usually offer love, but there's something about this deck where, and I've said this in another reading, where the Prince of Cups, warm, love is supposed to be warm and, it's supposed to fill the soul. It's supposed to feel amazing. There's something about his cup and this card that just feels ice cold. So whatever warmth is supposed to be in that cup, it has frozen. And they can't really give you anything that's going to be fulfilling. So it seems like a situation where you could have actually been having an issue with two men because, the balance card has two cups and both of them seemed a little bit flighty, leaving you to be, the single woman that's in this picture, or the single man, because this is a general reading. But it could be that, you're single because you were dealing with two people who really couldn't give you what you wanted. So it doesn't mean that you had to be in a relationship that was absolutely committed. You could have just been dating and you have two very flighty men and you could be feeling off balance about that in and of itself. Okay, so this is actually what's in the center. I do want to throw another clarifier on this though, because I'm uncomfortable with the fact that these are two court cards sitting here. So I'm going to throw another clarifier on there. Okay. Yeah, peace clarify. Awesome. All right, we have the wish card. All right, so you might have wanted both or just one of them, but for some reason it still just didn't work out. Like these things just didn't align for you, which is the need for balance at this point. Because in no way do I believe that both of these men are here right now. If in fact they are here right now, you are still having a hard time making a decision, which takes us back to justice, right? This being something fair and balanced. And then we have the balance card here. Yep, that's what I'm getting. All right, so the Page of Air is a card of honest communication. It's really you just getting down to the truth of what it is that's happened. That is ridiculously reinforced by the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is powerful. Like it wants to know what it is that's going on, period. The Fool is a card of new beginnings. Now, this Ace of Swords, it can be a new beginning after the realization of something or dealing with the truth of the matter. And then the Wounded Soldier. This is the Nine of Wands. So it says to me that there is actually something that you are probably about to find out. Let me take a look at this. See, you're either about to find out something or you don't feel like you have enough. You don't feel like you have enough information to move forward. But the truth of the matter is, I do feel like you're about to have a conversation. You're definitely about to have a conversation about probably what some of your suspicions were. And feeling slightly victimized by what it is that's been going on. And don't take it offensively, because it's not really a victim card. The wounded soldier, he's hurt, but he'll get up and fight. He's tough. He's not just somebody who's laying on the ground whimpering. It's kind of like you're dealing with a very hard situation. It's a very hard truth. And I'm wondering if this has something to do with this situation here, because perhaps you're with a partner who got someone else pregnant. And that's a harsh reality. That's something hard to find out. But the truth card here, the page of air who speaks truth, and this high priestess here says that you're about to find out something that you're not necessarily going to be happy about. You're definitely not going to be happy about it. That's the energy for you guys for December. I really wish I had more information, but I do believe that when I look at the foundation here, when I look at all of disappointment I see, I definitely believe that this may be, wow. This may be more a love reading than career based, because if in fact you are looking at this reading and you are looking for something career based, it could be the realization that you no longer belong in the position that you're in. It may have been some kind of conversations that you guys have had at work. Perhaps you've gotten a layoff, or you're going to get laid off, but you're going to be okay, because the wounded soldier, like I said, he gets up and fights. But what's killing me about this card is that this card is also instinctive, which means that you have some inkling. You have been thinking that something is going on. And I definitely think that in the foundation here, you're going to get the communication that you need regarding this situation. Okay. I wish I could have been of more assistance, but this is what I got. And I'm sorry for the meanings being so mixed, but they really were so very mixed. Usually the readings are way more fluid than this, quite honestly. If this isn't your first time coming to my channel, then you understand that that's true. So if this reading resonated with you, that's awesome. If not, check your moon or rising sign. Please feel free to comment at the bottom. I love reading your comments. If this is your first time, welcome. Subscribe.